All right, folks, today we have a piece of horological history. This is an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak A-Series reference 5402 ST, the first ever Royal Oak reference to be produced. So, how did this icon come to be? Well, let's take a trip down memory lane and rewind all the way back to 1970. The managing director of AP at the time, Georges Gollet, was approached by a trio of agents representing the third largest producer of watches in the world, the SSIH. So they asked if AP could create an unprecedented steel watch, their words, a luxury watch that showcased technical mastery. So essentially AP's own version of like the popular Omega Seamaster and the Rolex Submariner. So Gollet then approaches watchmaker and designer legend Gerald Genta to task him with the mission of conceptualizing this watch. And now I know what you're thinking. Revolutionary design for a watch that complex must have taken like at least years to come up with. Well, you would be wrong because Genta did it overnight. The designer sketched out a barrel-shaped tonneau case with a chamfered octagonal bezel fitted with octagonal screws and presented it to Gollet. And the rest, as they say, is history. So then after some more R&D, the Royal Oak was born. A 39mm steel sports watch with an integrated bracelet, raised bezel with hexagonal screws, and the oh-so-iconic tapisserie dial. The Royal Oak was unveiled by AP during the 1972 Basel Fair. Despite an initially lukewarm reception from the public, the design soon caught on, so this was a sleeper hit. It's estimated that more than 1,000 units of the watch were sold during its first 2 years of production. Released in an era where steel watches were pretty rugged in design and developed more for pragmatism, the Royal Oak created an entirely new segment in the watch market, the luxury steel sports watch, with AP elevating its finishing to the same level as precious metal watches. A luxury timepiece through and through, the Royal Oak cost around 20 times more than a steel Rolex at the time. Like this thing was going for like more than the price of a full gold Submariner. And by the way, this was literally all happening amidst the quartz crisis, which if you know anything about Swiss watches, you'll know that this was pretty much the worst thing to happen to the entire industry. The success of the Royal Oak actually helped restore the public's appetite for mechanical watches, so this was a huge breakthrough for the entire industry. It laid the foundation for a lot of other iconic watches, like the Patek Philippe Nautilus, which came about later, reshaping the landscape of luxury sports watches permanently. So you might be wondering what A-Series means, so I'm gonna break it down for you. The first batch of 2,000 watches, like the one we have here, are referred to as the A-Series. They can be easily distinguished by the engraving on the case back with the letter A followed by the rest of its serial number. So for all of you alphabet followers out there, you can probably guess what the additional series were called subsequently. The B, C, and D line were also added to the reference 5402 line, but the earliest A-Series will always be the most prized by collectors. First is best, as they say. So now let's get into the nitty-gritty technical details. As mentioned earlier, this stainless steel watch is 39mm in diameter and houses the legendary self-winding caliber AP 2121 movement, which is the world's thinnest mechanical self-winding movement with a central rotor and date. It has a power reserve of 40 hours and a water resistance of 50 meters. The bracelet is the timeless design that we know and love, offering gorgeous play on light and a deployment clasp. For a watch that was released like almost 50 years ago in 1972, it has no doubt stood the test of time. From its design to its functionality to even its wearability, and yes, it actually does fit very comfortably on the wrist, the Royal Oak has cemented itself as one of the most legendary watches ever created. And now, lucky ol' you have the chance to own a literal piece of history. This watch is now available on wristcheck.com, so if you'd like to view the watch in person, you can book an appointment with one of our watch specialists. The links are all in the description below, and as always, we'll see you at Wristcheck.